Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Thursday, the 4th of March. We are on the last day before the All-Star break. So let's get our money tonight, guys. Hopefully, everybody had a good night last night. If you didn't, what do I always say? We got a brand new slate for you to get back after it today. And if you were also on the winning side last night, let's keep it rolling, guys. So there's a lot of caveats in today's show. We're waiting out a bunch of key injuries. I know that's not untypical for the NBA DFS slate last night before the break. I'm sure we'll get some funky news that comes out and everything like that. So pay attention along with me. I'll do my best to talk through it. Today's show is brought to you by our good friends at Drafters. We're going to do a draft later, guys. Sign on up. Use the promo code DFS5pack if you don't mind. But even if you don't, get into the Facebook group at the link below. We do a lot of draft on Drafters every single day where you play with our customers all the time. It is a really, really good time. And they have this thing called auto swap, which means that if one of your guys isn't in, it'll auto swap it in for you. It's a great way to play if you know you're going to be busy later in the night and still get some skin in the game. Also, last day, I'm going to email my web provider after this, the guy who builds my website for him. I'm going to talk to Landon. Monthly prices will go up. If you lock in the price today, you can keep the cheaper prices for as long as you want it, and I'll send you a $20 rebate on your first month. So you'll get this next month of DFS for only $10, and then you get the cheaper price for as long as you want it. Subscribe to the station if you are new to it. Thumbs up is always appreciated. So let's talk about Dennis Smith Jr. And specifically, I want to talk about the guards in this game as a whole as Detroit takes on New York tonight. So Dennis Smith Jr. has been playing really, really well the last couple of games in the absence of DeLon Wright. But more importantly, my love for DSJ will come and go with the availability of Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson tonight. If both of those dudes are out, I'm going to go right back to DSJ. If both of those guys play, I think we can likely do better, and he will not make my lineup tonight. So pay attention. Watch this one. Detroit was awesome last night. They were unconscious from three, ran Toronto out the gym. Not likely that they're going to get a repeat performance of that, especially with New York coming off one of their worst games of the year. But if both Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson are out tonight, I think Dennis Smith Jr. is a really, really good look coming off a night with the triple-double. But if those dudes play, I'm less interested. Now, the flip side of this is there's also guards to look at on the other side of the equation, which is going to be the New York Knicks. Elf is doubtful. Going into the break like this, I'm just going to assume he's out. Derrick Rose has got some health protocol issues. If Derrick Rose plays, I'm interested in him. If Derrick Rose is out, give me Quickly. I will quickly put Quickly in my lineup if Derrick Rose is out, even though I don't expect him to start. Ntilikina started last game. I would assume Quickly will come in off the bench. Quickly was fantastic last game in a good spot against Detroit. So the guards in this game make a lot of sense. However, who to play as far as Dennis Smith Jr., Derrick Rose, Quickly, that is yet to be determined. So I got the DSJ picture up there, but this is more because I wanted to talk throughout the point guards in this game as a general idea of where I want to be looking. And a lot can change because there's going to be some good plays on this slate, and we're just waiting out a bunch of injury information earlier in the day. Next up, let's talk about Robert Covington from the Portland Trail Blazers. So Sacramento against Portland's a good game for DFS points. One of my favorite guys to take a look at is Robert Covington. Like Frank the Tank from the movie Old School, he's always streaking. Robert Covington is one of the streakier players in the game of basketball. When he's hitting his threes like he is right now, it's like once the offense starts rolling, he starts piling up DFS points in the block, steals, and rebound categories as well. He's hot right now. This is nothing more than a guy who goes up and down and is hot right now in a really, really good spot. I expect him to make it a third straight really, really good game right here, under 6K. Sign me up for a decimated Blazers team who still doesn't have CJ McCollum or Joseph Nurkic. All right, cover board for the day, Paul George. Is Kawhi going to play tonight? I have no idea. I think there's really good arguments both sides. One, if it is a real injury, and it seemed like it is, then why not let him sit out for another full week after this? If Kawhi, I don't know, they've lost 2 in a row, so maybe they really, really need this win. If Kawhi is out, Paul George is auto lock for me. Just automatically auto lock. I love picking on the Wizards. This hasn't changed. And if Kawhi doesn't play, Paul George is one of several Los Angeles Clippers that should be on your short list tonight. If Kawhi plays, I still like Paul George, but there's a good chance he wouldn't make my final lineup. So I do have some real interest in the Los Angeles Clippers tonight, it's just very difficult to speak about which will be my main pieces depending on the availability of Kawhi Leonard. If Leonard gets ruled in early today, I'm also very interested in Kawhi Leonard. Clippers need a win, having lost 2 straight, got a good spot in Washington tonight. So pay attention to see who plays and who doesn't play tonight. That's going to be a big factor in this one. All right, let's move over to long shots of the day. Check out Dylan Brooks of the Memphis Grizzlies. Been a long time since we had brought him up. He's a guy that we liked a lot. He's had some really bad games this year, so it's been a while since I've even looked at him. However, in a game that I expect to be a quality game tonight, this is not a good spot for John Morant and Jonas Valanciunas, simply from the fact that Milwaukee's whole defensive philosophy is to clog the lane, which is not good for Valanciunas or John Morant, who really can't shoot threes at this point. Morant was a monster for us and most people the other day, but this is not nearly as good of a spot for him. That's why I like guys like Dylan Brooks who shoot the 3-ball well. Expect Memphis to get some open shots from 3-point range. Brooks played awesome last game. The DFS points weren't huge as guys like Melton and Morant played really, really well. But Brooks basically shut down Bradley Beal about as well as you can shut down Bradley Beal, which is virtually impossible, but he was really, really good on him. Expect him to take that real-life, really good game today and potentially show you even more upside from a DFS perspective. Also, Ty Jerome is another long shot of the day, but he may not even be a long shot. And what I mean by that is don't be surprised if the Thunder pull some Houdini moves on you tonight and rest some guys. Ty Jerome, since coming into the lineup, has played on all 3 games, has scored 20 to 30 DFS points, only 3,400. Good matchup with the Spurs tonight. Still getting very little ownership projection love. And with George Hill coming back in a couple of weeks, they probably really want to see what they have right here. So look at Ty Jerome. I think he's somebody you can play in all format, but he's not currently getting a lot of projection love. Now, if Shai sits tonight or something like that, then he'll really, really move up the rankings as far as people have him. But as things stand right now, he's still playing good minutes. I know they've had some blowout run where they've had to play extra minutes lately, but look for Ty Jerome to potentially give you a cheap source of points tonight. And unlike some of the guys in the Raptors, he's actually not a bad DFS player. So it sucks he's only point guard eligible, but he's a guy who should be on your radar this evening as well. That's what we got for today, guys. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again soon.